Zero. Get the comfy chair. Alexandra. And Randy. Samantha. Everybody playing musical chairs again. Moving out of the park. Let me see what's on. Oh, he's not even here. Man. Emily, right? Emily? Emma. Wait a minute. Emma. You're Emily. Other Alexandra. Rachel. Yes, ma'am. Tomorrow, guys.
What's the last day?
Our last class is going to be 3 weeks from tonight. 3 weeks from tonight, that's it. It goes real quick. Bless you. Bless you. 3 weeks from tonight.
You don't know the date?
I don't remember the date. Let's see. When did we start? What was the date? We started on the 28th, so it's the 26th. Bless you. Just want to get blessed. Do that a lot? When the sun's out? When the sun's out? Allergies?
Yeah,
I got them too. I hate them. Zyrtec. One of the best things.
She has certain stuff she used to take it.
27th. Yeah. Oh, this one. Okay. Margin still not here. Why don't I have you in here? Why aren't you doing another class or something else? I don't have you. Did you do a drive? Did you come for something else? No? Did you take your folder home with you? Sarah, Joel. We'll take a look. All right. Tell me what you did yesterday, because I consider it the most important lesson of the entire 5 weeks. Why is intersections lesson the most important thing? It's what? The easiest what? To handle on the road, or the easiest class? Nah. They're everywhere. Yeah, that's true. They are everywhere. All right. Well, intersections look like what? Yeah. Traffic's doing what? Every which way. Yeah. It's crossing each other's paths, which provides what kind of danger? Collision. You know, did you discuss how often collisions occur there, of all places on the road? Huh? A whole lot. How much? Yeah, it's about 42% of all collisions occur. What did Patty do? She take 42% of all collisions occur right in intersections. Okay, here's basic intersection. Throughway, through. Okay? Where's your propensity for getting hit in an intersection? Where are you going to get hit first? Where? Right there. Yeah, where? For which direction? You're going through. Imagine yourself, the vehicle, going through. Where are you going to get hit first?
Side.
Which one? Right here, the right? Or the left? Yeah, see, your point of contact is going to come first from the left. You get hit here first. Okay, and then you get hit there next. maybe here potentially, right? Okay? That's why they're coming from everywhere, like you said. You get hit first there, so that should tell you something about how you should scan before you go through an intersection. How do you scan? Okay, start left, and then go where?
Right.
Left, right. Are you sure?
Forward.
Forward. You gotta look up here, straight forward, because there is that potential of them pulling in front of you. Okay, and where do you look last? I would actually look behind you when? At every intersection you're doing what with your vehicle?
You still trying to while
Yeah.
you're talking.
Yeah, because you're putting on your brake, or at least you're covering your brake if it's an uncontrolled intersection, right? All right, so then you're slowing. Who are you worried about? People behind you. So quickly scan rear view mirror. So you start here, go left, right, forward, where last?
Left.
Left last. Look left last. That's our motto. Look left last. Look left last. Look left last, because that's where you're going to get hit first. Look left last. And where are you sitting in the car? Right there. You're sitting right there. How much is protecting you between your vehicle and that? The car door. Look at how thin that is. If you're lucky, you may have a drop-down airbag right there in the window. That'll help protect you, and it actually saves lives half of the time. Half of the time. Pretty good, actually. So now they've become standard as protective bags in your vehicle. All manufacturers have to install them. All right? If you have an older car, well, all you got there is kind of maybe one steel bar. That helps, on the impact and the intrusion of that vehicle. But it's still coming at what speeds? 35, 25, still entering the vehicle. Side impacts are the worst. Most people who die of that kind of impact. 45 miles an hour, pretty much dead there. Okay? So here, look at how the shape that makes. It's kind of like, you're always asking yourself, is it safe to go through? It forms kind of question mark. Is it safe to go through? Look left last. Left. Well, start rear view mirror. Rear, left, right, straight, or forward, as somebody said, and then left last. Look like this, all the way through an intersection, real quick, like this. You're asking yourself, is it safe? Right? Don't enter that intersection if you haven't looked left last. I wasn't here yesterday to share with you, but I usually do a picture. Somebody whose mom I worked with for a time on a safety project, and down in the Tacoma area. Her name is Cassie Strain, her daughter. 17 years of age, on her way to school, her senior year, fresh at driving, coming out of their kind of neighborhood, 25 mile an hour zone, getting onto a mountain highway, which is 50 miles an hour, minimum speed. Okay? She was getting out, trying to get to school on time, and pulled right out in front of a big old semi-tractor trailer. Hit from the left, impact at 55 miles an hour by that trucker, who also had an additional big old tractor in the trailer behind him. And what do you think happened to her? She died instantly. Died instantly. No time to react, no time to think it through. The vehicle ended up kind of like way over here in the backyard of somebody in their neighborhood. And, crash investigators come out and see the trauma and thought, well, teenage girl, she was probably on her cell phone getting to school. That wasn't the case. They found her cell phone in her purse in the back seat. She was pretty responsible. But the other thing they found was this. They found her contact lens holder. And inside there was her left eye contact. She forgot to put in for whatever reason, don't know. But that doubly impaired her vision to that direction. She lost her life as a result of coming out too early in front of that vehicle. The real tragedy here was that mom was 2 car lengths back watching it go down. Right in front of her. Lost her daughter in an instant. Look left last is the most important thing you got to do to avoid this kind of statistic. All right? Protect yourself. Protect your occupants. All right? 42% of fatalities occur there at intersections. Yeah. I mean, think about all the different places you can get in a crash. There's so many. Parking lot, your own neighborhood, your own driveway. Freeway, of course. Freeway's pretty low. Most people think freeway is the greatest impact and the most dangerous, but it really isn't. Most crashes that occur out on the freeway are at slow speeds. Really slow speeds, under the speed limit. Why? What do you think? We're talking about that today.
Because
It's
they're
kind of-
closer to each other.
People tend to get closer to each other at slow speeds. What time of day do you suppose that is? Rush hour. Very good. So what do people do when they get into rush hour? They go bumper to bumper. Yeah. They're in a hurry to get home for one thing. Maybe they start doing some other things. You know, while they're behind the wheel. Oh, I got time. I'll read the newspaper. I'll text my girlfriend or something. No. Don't do those things. It's the most vulnerable time now. All right? Highly distractible, heavy congestion, going to get involved in a crash at slower speeds. But at faster speeds, people tend to pay a little bit more close attention. This is just the opposite of yesterday's lesson. Freeway, in a way. Freeways are all going where? Same direction. Okay, let's put down a freeway. And you know our freeways, right? We're involved here. Okay? So we call these pretty much lane 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a special one. Yeah, carpool. Designated how? By the diamond or a sign that sort of reads what? There you go. Yeah, you can only have so many people, and might say 2 in there, or sometimes 3, depends. You got to watch closely. Some freeways around here, the 520, right before the floating bridge in Bellevue, you have to have 3 people in that vehicle to be using the carpool there. Just read carefully. It's a special lane, I said, restricted lane. Yes, occupancy is critical. We call it HOV, standing for high occupancy vehicle. But sometimes just simple old one-member vehicles can use it. Who gets to use it? Motorcycles. Good. Who else? Buses. That big bus, if it's just, travel being used by the one bus driver. All right. It's a bus. Okay. It's an odd-looking bus with a 3rd axle somewhere in the middle. Yeah, if it's just one dude in there driving it back to the bus barn, they're okay, they can use it because it's allowed. And then, of course, oh boy, now I've got to. There's my motorcycle, right? I'm allowed. Okay. All right. Yes. Looks more like a bicycle. Okay, bike, motorcycles.
It looks like a blob.
It looks like a what? A log. A blog. I am not in this business because of my artistry. Okay. Why do we put motorcycles out there? Why do we do that? Why do we allow them? Huh? Yeah, why do we put them out there? They tend to go faster, they can, yeah, absolutely.
It's safer.
It's what? Yes, we'd rather not have them out here with who? The big cars, trucks, and etc. Keep them out here on the side, and then it's a little safer, more cushion, and that way they also don't have the side traffic on the left.
So
Yeah.
then why do they allow a bus because that's what they
Yeah. Why the bus? Yeah. Well, typically it's meant because you often get what we talked about, that congested traffic during commuter hour or whatever. We want buses that have all kinds of people on board, right? Here's the seats. right? Making sense now, isn't it? Bus driver up front. But you can sit as many as 40 people on some buses. The articulated buses can go over 100. And we want to give them the privilege of driving here, past all of these vehicles out here. Get them to the, and even if the bus is empty, we want them out there too, because they got to get to the next stop to pick up the other 100 or so people that deserve the freer ride. Okay? HOV, lane 1, lane 2, 3. Lane 1 we call what sometimes? The fast lane. But is it really? Huh? Passing lane. That's it technically. We call it the fast lane because people tend to go fast. Stay in it like they're not supposed to. Okay, passing lane. There's a law in this state that tells you to keep where on the freeway. Keep to the right. And if you stay out there, even if you're the only one, well, what could happen? Get pulled over. But you're doing 60 miles an hour. You're doing the speed limit. You get pulled over? Exactly. You shouldn't be. All right. Even here, you could get pulled over for doing the speed limit or under if you're the only one out there. And you pass somebody maybe, you haven't gotten back over. You're supposed to. It's only when there's congestion that all the lanes are open to everybody else. However, this lane still is closed even for passing for two kinds of other vehicles when it's open like this. Say there's just a few cars out here. Okay? Two kinds of vehicles aren't allowed in this. Sometimes you see the sign that says, very good. Okay, good, you're ahead of me. Why a semi? They are big, so there's a weight restriction on who's allowed in there. A weight restriction. There's no maximum number of pounds of a vehicle, and you better be over here. Sometimes says it on some white signs, 10,000 pounds. 10,000 pounds or greater, and you're not allowed there in that lane, hence the semi. Okay? Semi also has something that disallows it from that lane. Yeah, it's got what? It's got a trailer off the end here. So that definitely makes it a little heavier too, a little more difficult to manage, move around. No trailers. No trailers, no semi, no vehicles 10,000 pounds or greater. And that's the law. You got to know it. So if your parents are going off on a vacation with you this summer and they're towing the little RV, I don't know, camper trailer or something off the back, are they allowed in there? It's a Sea-Doo trailer. It's only like 2,000 pounds. No. They're all prohibited there. Unless all these lanes are congested. Then they're open to everybody at that point. Okay? That's the way the law of governing freeway system in the state work. Okay? What are some benefits for freeway travel? What do you got? Go faster. Okay? We talked about that already. Sometimes, not everybody does that. Sometimes they want to stick to where? They're a little freaked out by things. What do you call that one? Go slowly, sure. Can you go slow on the freeway? You go 40? In this state, you allowed to go 40? Sure you can. There's no law that says you have to do what? A minimum. We don't have a minimum speed limit rule in this state. Some states have that. So you can do 40 on here. Can you put a bicycle on the freeway? No? You sure? Have you seen signs that say no bicycle prohibited ever? I see them down in Tacoma a lot, over across the Narrows Bridge and such. And sometimes when the freeway is just so narrow, there's not enough shoulder. Yeah, bicycles are allowed too. It's kind of weird, but they're allowed. There's this famous ride from Seattle to Portland that comes up late July, and they come all the way, they bike that thing in almost one day, flat, it's amazing. They used to go right through my neighborhood, hundreds, almost thousands of bicyclists. And at some stretches, they take I-5 to get down there, and they're allowed. It's safe to travel, you know, best to be way out over here in the shoulder, but they're allowed, unless prohibited by a sign. Okay? Here's my bicycle. Right? And then it's a sign like this, and it has an X through it. It has an X through it, so no bicycles allowed. Okay? All right, so slow lane. Best not to be doing 40. They're holding up traffic potentially. Gotta watch out. But even trucks trying to take hills like we have here on Highway 18, they get to travel there at speeds of maybe even 30. What should they do to help out other drivers? Stay in that lane, absolutely. Gotta keep to the right. In fact, we make something called the truck lane for them too. Truck lane, 1,500 feet ahead, something like that. So get over there. And then they better also do what? To warn people, huh? To warn people. What kind of warning sign? Pardon me? What do trucks have that help warn others? Yeah, you got them too. So if you have to travel slow also, put the hazard lights on. And they're supposed to do that too. Good. Okay, we got the through lanes here for the most part. So-called fast lane, which is really the passing lane, the slow lane. You got your commuter. All right. Benefit of freeway driving is what? You get to do what? Go fast, yeah. But get from one place to another, maybe a little easier. Unimpeded, right? With all the cross traffic, what do you have to do? Stop. And do you have to stop on only during commuter traffic, but typically you don't have to stop on the freeway because you don't have what? No intersections. No lights, right? No traffic lights. You have these things called, right here on the merge. You guys ever seen this, especially at this hour of the day? You ever seen those? Yeah. It goes red light, green light, red light, green light. What's that? Yeah, spaces traffic. Okay, so stop at the white line or whatever, and then proceed when you get the green light. One vehicle at a time. Okay? It's just called a meter light. Okay? It limits the number of people getting on the freeway to help space that out for people on the freeway as well. One line. Sometimes you have multiple lanes of traffic. And this one is actually a commuter. So do you have to stop at the red light here? No, you gotta keep going, that's right. As long as you've got 2 people on board. Or 3. Everybody else has to back up here. Be real careful. It gets a little scary there. Okay? Meter now. Remember I said something about the gore area. Cannot pass over there early. Alright, you may have something looking like that over here too. Ever see this?
Double line.
Yeah. Meaning what? Double solid white line, and this time brand new stuff. Not allowed to cross it. Unless where? Yeah. Only where it's like split. Are you allowed to get in there? Okay. What do we call this? You guys know what that's meant for? It's what? It helps the flow of the traffic, yeah. It's a special lane. We call it the hot lane. You ever heard of that one? Hot lane? Well, in order to use it, yes, you have to be an HOV. Or, if you're just alone in your vehicle, you have to pay for it. Yeah, what do they call that thing? Good to go pass. You need to have paid for that. All right, so you have the pass itself. You have money on the account, so that when you go into the reader here, it debits your account, the cost. And it's, what does it cost? You guys see it right out here? All up and down 167. It was the first one in the state. And they read what? They read 50 cents to use that stretch. Sometimes what? Up to a couple bucks, yeah. Could be $1.75, whatever, all the way down to 50 cents. Sometimes it's just free. It's open to all traffic, open lanes. But that means it's what time of day? Huh? Open to all lanes? Open to all traffic? Yeah, yeah. And then why bother? It's midnight, all the other lanes are open. But it's going to be more expensive when? During rush hour. Yeah. Okay? And then, depending on how heavy the flow of traffic is, the heavier it is, the more expensive it is, more money you have to pay. Good. Okay? Hot lane. They call it hot lane because this is now a toll that you pay. You guys seen that anywhere else? Toll? Where? Where? Bridges. Yeah, all those floating bridges now are going to get those tolls, it seems like. Well, Narrows Bridge was the first. 520 now is a toll bridge. And they're talking about I-90 being also in a toll. Okay? Bring more money into the state to repair all those other roads and bridges. Okay? All right. Like the one in Skagit. Yeah. Used to live up there, taking that bridge dozens of times.
Actually, I never saw the picture of the guy that works for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
Brother's friend, and he went over. Did he describe it to him? Your brother's friend, what the experience was like?
So it's weird.
Yeah, you don't expect something like that. Suddenly,
You didn't realize it was just
suddenly you're in the water. Wow. It went down. Yeah, as I understand from witnesses, it started to wobble first after the truck hit it, and then that kind of oscillating effect just sort of made it go faster, and then it suddenly just fell, and everybody went in there. That was still on the bridge. Fortunately, nobody died. A few injuries, and now lawsuits as a result of it. Yeah, so good. What's that? You'd sue someone when they get your car back. All right, everybody got this? Now you got to figure out how to travel on it. Now you understand the signage, the purpose of the lanes, but how do you get on and off, and what do you do on it? Well, where do you get on? 5 steps. 5 steps to driving on the freeway. What do you do first? Merge. First you gotta find the merge. So you're looking for what? Step number 1. On-ramp, good. How is that designated? What do you look for? Remember what tells us? We're looking for, say it again. Yeah, they call it freeway entrance. What color is it? Green. Look for the green sign that says freeway entrance. There it is. Okay? So, let's see. Freeway entrance sign down here. Designated there. Remember what I said? If you start getting on the freeway and you look down and there's that solid yellow line on your right, that means what? Going the wrong way. So they make those signs very similar in size and shape. Freeway sign versus wrong way sign, only the color is red, of course. Okay? Very similar. All right, now you've got the right on-ramp. It's an on-ramp, not an exit. Here's freeway. What do you start to do? Speed up. That's it. Accelerate. Step number 2, speed up, speed up. We had a really, really scary drive in the longest time. I have not been on one of those freeway drives. It woke me up, by the way, so I could teach. She was getting on, and she was doing great, but nobody was helping us out on the freeway. They were just like bottlenecking that merge. And to top it all off, we had 2 stalled vehicles on the right and the shoulder, right at the merge point. It's like, so, where do you go? Where do you go? This guy's not helping us in. Signal, mirror over your shoulder, but you can't go because they haven't created a gap for you. You got to create your own sometimes. can you speed up to the point where all the traffic's doing 70, 75? Are you allowed to do that? Why not? Yes. Do it. Get up to 70, whatever that flow of traffic is doing, you better match it. And that's why she was hesitant. She didn't want to break the speed limit. And that's typical for first timers on the freeway. All right? But we'll tell you, step on it. Step on it. Step on it. And just floor right. Do it. It's okay. Do it. Do it. We're getting scared in there because there's these big, huge semis out there on 18, and they weren't letting us in. It was crazy. It was crazy. She held her composure, though.
If you want to use a seat,
did a great job.
There's a nice seat, chair right there. Okay.
Did a great job. It was, we had a lane kind of went like this for a little bit. Like this. And this one dude, he wasn't letting us in. Old grungy kind of construction worker guy. He had his truck and everything hanging off the back end. But we had stalled vehicles here. And people standing outside. This, you have to understand, is your point of no return. Once you pass this line, you're on. There is no stopping. There's no granny stopping on the side of the road. You're committed, and you got to get up and in there. Even this guy, and he wasn't letting us in. He was just not. So we told her, step on floor. It's okay, it's okay. We tried, but he tried speeding up on us, and so she had to pull right as we were getting closer to these guys here. That's what I meant by scary. We almost got hit by this dude. And then she sped up again. Mr. McFarland was directing her up in the front seat, and then she got on. Finally there, toward the tail end of the verge. The earlier the better, but it was way out here that we were finally to get on with this guy on our tail. And then, of course, he passed us, on the left, doing about 70, 75. Then we had a big old bridge up ahead that looked kind of like the Skagit, and a big old truck that was going under it at the same time as us. It seemed like it didn't meet the height restriction, and so we're trying to tell her, watch out, watch out, watch out. We just saw what happened. And we make it through the bridge, we get to the other side, and here comes all these cars. Now we got 3 lanes of traffic. Whoa, whoa, and they're passing on the right, and they're passing on the left. What are you going to do with something like that? You start getting boxed in and claustrophobic. What are you going to do? Find your way out. Where are you going to go to? We were like here in the middle, 3 lanes. Well, if everybody's passing us, where do you go? To the right? Try to. Yeah, you have to speed up in order to go to the right though, sometimes, and that's what she ended up doing. She got up to speed and then got us over on the right side. Every time you change lanes, you better do what on the freeway? Speed up, good, because the tendency is to slow down as you're cautious, looking to see if it's okay, and we're watching your speed drop. And now we can't do the lane change anymore because now you're maybe 10 under. So do definitely speed up. Makes it a little crazy. This merge point right here is where we want to definitely have looked at least 2 or 3 times over our shoulder, make sure it's safe to go. So our third step, merge. But how do you do it? This is the complex one. We've been teaching you since last week. What do we do?
Yield the traffic.
You have to yield the traffic. And sometimes you have that sign, sometimes you don't. Okay? How do you make that merge? What do you do first? Okay, that comes down here. After your signal there.
Swap.
And then what?
Mirror.
Okay, good. And then what?
Go.
Go. Good. Okay, how does it go? Signal.
Mirror.
Blinkers,
Over shoulder.
mirror, mirrors, over shoulder, go. Do this maybe 2-3 times, this over the shoulder thing, okay? Just to be sure. When you have multiple lanes of traffic, what could happen is you're entering right here. There's a vehicle right here, and you're right here. What's the potential collision here? They want, maybe they see a blinker on. Maybe they want this lane too. And they're trying to take it away from you at the same time, but you need it. It almost felt like that was going to happen on her merge there too. Because people were so fast and tailgating each other. So watch out. Make sure you do a head check that covers all lanes of traffic, not just one. Okay? Makes sense? Because even everybody way out here is in your blind spot. And they may want to just jump all the way over to get their exit. Oftentimes where there's an entrance, there's an exit. Where there's an exit, there's an entrance. You always have them, typically. Okay? Watch out. Merge. You're on the freeway. And now you can breathe and do what? Just drive. Okay. Where are you going to drive? Straight? Just straight. Which lane are you going to choose? That's it. Step forward. You like the slow lane? Okay. Lane choice. Now, why would you choose the slow lane? Okay. A little safer. Seems a little calmer out there. But, like I said, there's an entrance, right? And then there's an exit, and then you have another maybe entrance, so then you have potential collision with others. It's really hard out here to drive in the slow lane on 18 as you're passing C Street or Auburn Way, because people are getting on that are really slow. And so that forces you to slow down because of vehicles behind you and big trucks. And they tend to get over in the fast lane there because they anticipate that happening. So what I'm saying here is that there's always disadvantages and advantages to any one of these lanes. And you've got to make a choice based on the condition of the road, the traffic itself, the time of day, and what your comfort level is. Okay? You drive. On our actual freeway drive, you guys see that? Pull out your drive number 3 sheet. Pull out your behind the wheel checklist, and you'll see drive number 3. Bogdan. Yeah, that's it. I can look at this one right now. Drive number 3. What do you notice? We do this pre-start planning because we want you to know in advance where you're going to be going and what you're going to be doing. You always want to do that before you get on the freeway, so you're familiar or at least know which exits you'll need to take eventually, and that while you're in the heat of the moment. Okay? We want you to figure out this overdrive gear on the vehicles. All of our vehicles have it. Overdrive is marked by a couple of things. You ever see the D with the O around it like that? It's typically above the big D, a bigger D. And they have 3, 2, low, something like that. Okay. This is the overdrive. When you drive around town, you just keep it in the big D. On the Mustangs, you actually have to press a little button to put it out of overdrive, and then it would say, I'm losing space here, OD off. That just means overdrive off. It's in green on your dash. Overdrive off. Okay? Once you get on the freeway, we want you to put it in overdrive. That just means you've got a higher gear ratio so that you can actually improve your gas mileage at higher speeds. It drops your RPMs, in other words. You guys know RPMs. Revolutions per minute. Revolutions per minute of what? The what? The engine. Yeah. The engine spinning. So it actually causes your engine to spin a little less fast. Instead of maybe 3,000 or 4,000 RPMs down to 2,000 RPMs. It's not working as hard. That means you're what? Saving fuel. Okay? So we're looking at that. Overdrive, the plotting the course, speed control, freeway entrance, merging, choosing the lanes. If we get a chance, we might pass. And we got to pass in this same lesson with her. She had one of the hardest freeway drives I've ever had with a teenager. And it was only her second time on. She did great. Held her composure. How are you supposed to pass? She knew this actually in advance. How do you pass somebody anywhere typically? You have to get up to speed and get faster than them before you attempt the pass. Right? Then what do? Up, blinker, over the shoulder, signal mirror over shoulder, get up into the other lane beside them as long as it's clear. And then you get past them. When do you start to turn back over? How much? A long way past? Yeah. Here's a big truck, for instance, okay? And we're going past them, and this is what we were doing. We were passing a big truck because it was a little slower up the hill. When do you get back over? Right there when you see the opening? What are you going to do? You're going to freak this guy out. He might honk at you. This one did. 2 car lanes?
No, it's like, no.
2 car
Waiting for your
spaces
drive?
ahead.
You
Well,
waiting
let's
for your
see.
drive?
That might still be too close. 1, 2. 2 car lengths at 60 miles an hour. That's only about a half a second following distance for this guy. He didn't like that. So how long could you? 4 seconds. Okay. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's get up to about here. Start looking in your rear view mirror. What should you see? See what? The front of the vehicle? If it's dark at night, you see
Patty's
what?
on a drive. She should
Which
be back.
one?
And when she comes back, she can.
Both headlights. That's right.
Okay.
Once you see 2 headlights, that gives you the gauge that you're far enough ahead of that person. Of course, you can do that during the light of day. Just look for the whole front grille or the 2 headlights, even if they're off, okay? And then do your what before you get back in front? Mirror, signal, mirrors, over shoulder go. Good. Alexander? Go ahead.
I forgot.
Oh, okay. Yes?
So when you're like, you have cars in front of you and you want to get over, any like second, like you have to keep your speed up at the same time. Any second you look back, you can crap.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, especially if you're following too close, right? And you're doing your head check way too long. Because you're worried, oh, there's it. And that keeps happening.
And all of a
Just
sudden
almost,
they just put on the brakes.
yeah, yeah. Where's your forward progress? Where's your attention? All right? You better be focused on that vehicles or potential vehicles that come into your path ahead of you. So your head checks have got to be like this. Like that. You're just looking real quick to see if anybody is there. It's got to be quick. The problem is when you guys start doing things quick, what do you end up doing to the car? Yeah. Yeah, you're doing your head check, and what do you do with your... Yeah, you are typically pull, or if you're compensating, you go like this, and you're pushing away because you're compensating for when those times when you turned into it too soon. You got to just do this, and this is how we'll do it with you on the freeway. Just hold steady. Just stay in your lane. There's no hurry. Just chill. All right? Chillax. And then you're just putting your signal on, letting people know what you want to do. You don't have to change lanes right away. Okay? And then just look around you. Check your mirrors first, a couple of times maybe, and then head check real quick. See how that? 1 second, you've traveled maybe 100 feet at those speeds. All right? So our eyes are still up front. 1 second, head check. And then what? Do it again just to make sure you saw somebody. And then how do you change the lane? How do you move the wheel? What? How? Hand over hand on the freeway?
Oh,
Yeah. Ouch. Okay, we're going into the center median there. Actually, it's just like what's
It's just a slight tilt.
It's the slightest of turns. It's like barely an inch of that. Because at faster speeds, your car goes greater distances with the turn of the wheel.
Okay.
You got it,
So, like,
Alexander.
You're doing rush hour and you're like trying to pass, but you can't wait. So you're like on the other side of the car now, and you can't wait those 4 seconds to get back in because otherwise you won't be able to get back in. Like there's not that much speed.
Yeah, you don't have a big gap.
Yeah. So what do you do?
Yeah, and you gotta force you have to assert yourself. Okay, you gotta look, and that takes time. All right, that may take a year or two just to assert yourself that way and get over. But you gotta get in, right? Yeah. Ideally, we want the 4 seconds like you're suggesting in between vehicles, but realistically, we'll barely have 2 seconds if that on the freeway. So if you position your car in such a way that it's closer to that line, people know that you need to move. All right? Maybe they don't like the feeling of that. They're getting too close. You're getting too close to them, and so they'll back off. That'll help. Okay. All right. Last step. What are you gonna do? Step 5. What are you gonna do?
Exit.
Somebody, did you say it? Yeah. You can't stay on there forever, right? If you do, you end up where? On the side of the road, you run out of gas. All right? Depending on what kind of mileage you get with that vehicle. Step number 5, exit. This is the easy part, but a lot of people get this wrong the first few times. So how do you do that? How do you exit?
Do you have a question?
How do you exit? Signal.
Do you have a question?
How many feet in advance? 100 feet in advance.
Your class?
All right. Maybe
Alright.
check your
Well,
mirrors.
when he gets done with
This
the section,
girl did
you can talk
awesome.
to him.
I've
Go
never
ahead
seen
and,
this except
kinda
maybe once or
hang out
twice
right here.
before. She actually did her head checks over her shoulder where the mergers were as we were passing by on her exits. She even did that just in case somebody was trying to speed around us. We get that out here on 18 near the raceways. Everybody wants to go so fast. Like I said, she was better than most even for having only gone on the freeway twice. We start slowing where? When you're on the ramp itself. So in other words, you've gotten off the freeway. Why is that important? Otherwise, you've got traffic behind you, you're slowing up. And those big heavy trucks, okay, make sure you don't slow them up. They'll be right on your butt. All right? That's it. Freeway entrance, girls. Then what? Speed up. Speed up to what? The what? Their speed, or if no one's there, what speed? Speed limit, yeah, excellent. What's the speed limit out here? 60. Is it higher anywhere else?
Yes.
Where? Anywhere else in this state. What's that?
East Coast.
East Coast?
Well, not the East Coast, but the east side of.
East side of the mountains? How much? A lot. Well, not much more, really. 10.
By the border.
It's 70 miles an hour. Okay, once you get outside of our metropolitan area, 70 miles an hour when posted. Only when posted. Sometimes it drops back down as you get closer to Mount Vernon, for instance. It drops down to like 55. Gotta watch that. Okay? Speed up, flow of traffic or the speed limit, whichever you need, and then of course do that merge. Do whatever lane changes you need, and exit. That's it. Let me show you what that looks like.